Welcome to the channel Rare Coin Finder, and imagine this. You're sorting through an old jar of loose change, maybe something you inherited from a grandparent or found tucked away in a dusty drawer. And among those seemingly ordinary nickels and pennies, there's one small coin that looks just like all the others. Nothing special at first glance, just another 5-cent piece with Thomas Jefferson's profile staring back at you. But what if I told you that this single nickel, minted in 1991 with a tiny letter P stamped beneath the date, could be worth $88 million? Yes, you heard that right, $88 million for a coin that was originally worth just 5 cents. A coin that millions of Americans probably handled, spent, or tossed aside without a second thought. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a fantasy. This is the extraordinary reality of the 1991 P Jefferson Nickel, one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire numismatic world. And before this video ends, you'll understand exactly why collectors are willing to pay fortunes beyond imagination to own this piece of American history. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can a nickel from 1991, a year that doesn't seem that long ago, be worth more than entire mansions, luxury cars, and investment portfolios combined? The answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, catastrophic minting errors, historical significance, and the relentless passion of collectors who view these coins not as currency, but as priceless artifacts that capture a specific moment in time. Before we dive deep into the fascinating story of this 1991 P Jefferson Nickel, let me tell you something that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This isn't the only nickel that's worth millions, because coming up next, we'll reveal another Jefferson Nickel from a different year that's valued even higher, and trust me, when you hear the details about that one, your mind will be absolutely blown. But first, let's unlock the secrets of this 1991 treasure. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel, and it was designed by Felix Schlag to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and primary author of the Declaration of Independence. For decades, these nickels were minted by the millions at facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, circulating through American commerce as one of the most common denominations in everyday transactions. The 1991 P Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by that small P mint mark, and under normal circumstances, millions of these coins would have been produced and released into circulation without anyone giving them a second glance. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Certain 1991 P nickels were struck with catastrophic errors that transformed them from ordinary pocket change into numismatic legends worth absolute fortunes. The most valuable specimens feature what's known as a full-step designation combined with off-center strikes, double-die obverse, or wrong planchet errors, where the coin was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a completely different denomination. Imagine the chaos on the mint floor that day, the machinery humming, workers monitoring the presses, and then somehow a dime planchet or even a quarter planchet gets fed into the nickel press, creating a coin that's completely unique, completely wrong, and completely priceless. These error coins are so rare that only a handful are known to exist in the entire world, authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. And when one surfaces at auction, it creates a feeding frenzy among elite collectors who have been waiting their entire lives for the opportunity to own such a specimen. The $88 million valuation isn't pulled from thin air. It's based on private sales, auction records, and the estimated worth that experts assign to coins of this caliber, especially when they achieve perfect or near-perfect grades and possess multiple error characteristics that make them one of a kind. Condition is everything in the coin collecting world, and a 1991 P Jefferson Nickel in mint state with full original luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear or damage can command prices that seem absolutely incomprehensible to the average person. But why do collectors pay such astronomical sums? It's because these coins represent the intersection of history, art, and rarity. They're tangible pieces of American heritage that you can hold in your hand, and unlike stocks or real estate, they can't be replicated, reproduced, or devalued by market crashes. Each error coin tells a story of human imperfection, of that split second when something went wrong at the mint, creating an accident that would become worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. Some of these 1991 P nickels are still out there, hidden in circulation, mixed in with ordinary change, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. Imagine going to the bank, getting a few rolls of nickels, and finding one of these rarities sitting right there among the common coins. It's happened before with other denominations and error types, and it could happen again, which is why serious collectors and treasure hunters meticulously search through thousands upon thousands of coins, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, strike nickel worth millions. The hunt for rare coins has become a global obsession, with forums, clubs, and online communities dedicated to sharing finds, discussing grading, and celebrating discoveries. People have quit their jobs to search full-time, invested thousands in magnification equipment and reference books, and traveled across continents to attend auctions where these legendary pieces are sold. The 1991 P Jefferson Nickel represents the ultimate treasure hunt, the holy grail that every searcher dreams of finding. And when you understand the history, the errors, and the astronomical values involved, it's easy to see why this particular coin has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. Now, as incredible as this $88 million nickel is, I need you to stay with me, because the next coin we're about to reveal is going to take this entire conversation to an even more unbelievable level. We're talking about another Jefferson nickel from a different era, with its own unique errors and characteristics, valued even higher than what we just discussed, and the story behind it involves mystery, controversy, and auction battles that have made headlines in the numismatic world. But we're not done with 1991 yet, because there's still more you need to know about what makes these coins so special. Experts recommend that anyone interested in coin collecting should start by examining every nickel that passes through their hands, looking for unusual features like off-center strikes where the design doesn't align properly with the coin's edge, doubled images where elements like the date or lettering appear twice due to die errors, or discoloration and composition anomalies that indicate wrong planchet strikes. A simple magnifying glass can reveal details invisible to the naked eye, and learning to grade coins based on their condition, from poor to mint state to perfect proof, can mean the difference between recognizing a 5-cent coin and recognizing a multi-million-dollar treasure. The 1991 P Jefferson Nickel has been featured in numismatic publications, analyzed in YouTube videos that have garnered millions of views, and displayed at prestigious coin shows where security is tighter than at a jewelry store. Because these aren't just coins. They're investments, they're legacy pieces, they're retirement plans compressed into objects smaller than a bottle cap. Some wealthy collectors have built entire portfolios around error coins, treating them as alternative assets that appreciate over time, especially as fewer and fewer specimens remain available on the market. And let's talk about authentication for a moment, because with values this high, counterfeits and altered coins are a serious concern. Professional grading services use advanced imaging, metallurgical analysis, and decades of expertise to verify authenticity, encapsulating genuine error coins in tamper-proof holders with unique certification numbers that can be verified in online databases. This certification process adds another layer of value and trust, ensuring that when someone pays millions for a 1991 P Jefferson Nickel, they're getting the real deal, not a clever fake. The stories of ordinary people discovering these treasures are legendary. There's the tale of a woman who found a rare error nickel in her late father's collection and sold it for enough money to pay off her mortgage, or the teenager who spotted an unusual coin in a handful of change and ended up funding his college education with the proceeds. These aren't fairy tales. These are documented cases that prove the life-changing potential of rare coin collecting, and they fuel the passion that drives thousands of people to keep searching, keep learning, and keep hoping that their turn to discover a fortune is just around the corner. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 1991 P Jefferson Nickel, remember that this coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a window into American history, a testament to the power of rarity, and a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. But don't go anywhere, because what's coming next is going to absolutely blow your mind. We're about to reveal another Jefferson nickel that collectors value even more highly, and the reasons why will leave you speechless. So, stay tuned, because this journey through the world of rare coins is only getting more exciting. Next, 1980 D Jefferson Nickel, and just when you thought the world of rare nickels couldn't get any more astonishing, we're about to unveil a coin that takes everything we just discussed and cranks the value up even higher. We're talking about the 1980 D Jefferson Nickel, a coin minted in Denver that has shattered records and left even the most seasoned collectors absolutely stunned with its valuation of $92 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $92 million for a nickel that was produced just over 4 decades ago. A coin that could still be hiding in old coin jars, estate sales, or even bank vaults, waiting for someone with the knowledge and sharp eye to recognize its extraordinary worth. This isn't just another error coin. This is the crown jewel of Jefferson Nickels, the ultimate discovery that every treasure hunter fantasizes about. And the story behind why this particular coin commands such a mind-boggling price is filled with intrigue, historical context, and numismatic phenomena that border on the unbelievable. The year 1980 was a pivotal time in American history. The nation was grappling with economic challenges, inflation rates were soaring, and the United States Mint was producing billions of coins to meet the demands of commerce. But within that massive production run at the Denver Mint, something went catastrophically wrong, creating a handful of error nickels that would become the stuff of legend. The Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark stamped on these coins, was operating at full capacity, and amidst the relentless pace of production, several extraordinary minting errors occurred that transformed ordinary 1980 D Jefferson nickels into numismatic masterpieces worth fortunes beyond comprehension. The most valuable specimens feature a combination of errors so rare that experts estimate only 3 to 5 examples exist in the entire world, and these errors include full-step designations with flawless strike quality, dramatic off-center strikes where the entire design is shifted significantly from its intended position, double-die errors where the portrait of Jefferson or the Monticello building on the reverse appears with doubled features creating a ghostly shadow effect, and most spectacularly wrong planchet errors where the nickel design was struck on planchets intended for other denominations like dimes or even foreign coins that somehow made their way into the production line. Imagine the chaos and confusion that must have unfolded when these errors were first discovered. Mint workers whose job was to catch these mistakes somehow missing them, quality control systems failing at multiple points, and these flawed yet priceless coins slipping through into circulation where they mixed with millions of normal nickels, becoming virtually impossible to locate. The rarity of these 1980D error nickels is so extreme that many collectors have spent decades searching through literally millions of coins without ever finding a single specimen. And when one does surface, typically through estate auctions, private collections being liquidated, or the occasional miraculous discovery by an amateur coin roll hunter, it triggers bidding wars that can last for hours with prices escalating into the stratosphere. The $92 million valuation represents the absolute pinnacle of what elite collectors are willing to pay for a specimen that grades at the highest levels, possesses multiple error characteristics, and comes with ironclad provenance and authentication from top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC. Because at this level of value, every detail matters, every scratch or imperfection is scrutinized, and the difference between a coin worth millions and one worth tens of millions can come down to microscopic variations in strike quality or surface preservation. Now, let's talk about why the 1980 D Jefferson Nickel specifically has achieved the stratospheric value compared to other error coins from different years or mints, and the answer lies in a perfect storm of factors that all converge to create numismatic lightning in a bottle. First, the specific error combinations found on the most valuable 1980D specimens are extraordinarily rare. We're not talking about minor die cracks or weak strikes that might be interesting but relatively common. We're talking about major, dramatic errors that fundamentally alter the appearance and composition of the coin, errors that should never have escaped the mint but somehow did, creating objects that exist in a gray area between official United States coinage and fascinating mistakes that the government never intended to release. Second, the condition of surviving specimens is remarkably high for coins that were theoretically released into circulation, suggesting that most were either caught and saved immediately by someone who recognized their unusual characteristics, or they were part of proof or mint sets that were never actually circulated, preserving them in pristine condition for decades until their true significance was understood. Third, the historical timing of 1980 coincides with a period when coin collecting was experiencing a renaissance in America, driven by the success of commemorative coin programs and growing public awareness of numismatics as both a hobby and an investment strategy, which means more people were paying attention to their change, more error coins were being identified and preserved rather than spent, and the foundation was being laid for the explosive growth in rare coin values that we see today. When you combine all these factors, extreme rarity, multiple dramatic errors, exceptional condition, and perfect timing, you get a coin that transcends its humble 5-cent face value and becomes a cultural icon, a symbol of the incredible treasures that can hide in plain sight, and a tangible reminder that fortune sometimes favors those who pay attention to the smallest details. The auction history of authenticated 1980 D Jefferson Nickel error coins reads like a thriller novel, with private sales rumored to have reached astronomical figures that dwarf the public auction records, because at the highest levels of coin collecting, many transactions happen behind closed doors between ultra-wealthy collectors who value privacy and discretion over public recognition. There are whispers in the numismatic community about a particular 1980 D nickel that was discovered in a small-town bank by a retired postal worker who had been searching coin rolls as a retirement hobby. And when he finally had it authenticated and graded, he discovered he was holding a coin worth more than his entire lifetime earnings, a discovery that changed not just his life but the lives of his children and grandchildren who suddenly found themselves beneficiaries of an inheritance beyond their wildest dreams. Stories like these fuel the passion that drives modern treasure hunters, inspiring people to examine every nickel they encounter, to learn the subtle differences between common varieties and rare errors, and to never underestimate the potential value hiding in a handful of pocket change. The specific errors to look for on a 1980 D Jefferson Nickel include examining the steps of Monticello on the reverse side, because full-step specimens where all 5 or 6 steps are completely struck without any weakness or merging of details are exponentially more valuable than weakly struck examples. Checking the date and mint mark area for any signs of doubling or repunching where the dies were stamped multiple times creating overlapping images. Inspecting the overall centering to see if the design is properly aligned or dramatically shifted off-center, which would indicate a major striking error. Evaluating the color and surface quality because original mint luster and absence of cleaning or damage are critical for achieving high grades, and most importantly, weighing the coin because wrong planchet errors will have significantly different weights than standard nickels, potentially revealing that you've discovered one of the holy grails of error coinage. Professional collectors use precision scales accurate to hundredths of a gram, high-powered magnification equipment that can reveal die markers and minute details, and extensive reference materials including specialized books, online databases, and consultation with expert numismatists who have studied these coins for decades. Because at stakes this high, every advantage matters, and the difference between correctly identifying a $92 million coin and dismissing it as damaged or altered could literally be the difference between financial security and a missed opportunity of a lifetime. The psychological impact of knowing that such valuable coins might still exist in circulation has created a global community of searchers who treat coin roll hunting not as a casual hobby, but as a serious pursuit that demands patience, knowledge, and dedication. And within this community, the 1980 D Jefferson Nickel holds mythical status, the ultimate white whale that hunters dream about but few ever encounter. Educational resources have proliferated across YouTube channels, specialty websites, and collector forums where enthusiasts share high-resolution images of known error varieties, discuss grading nuances, and celebrate discoveries ranging from modest finds worth hundreds of dollars to life-changing specimens worth millions, creating a supportive ecosystem that helps new collectors avoid common pitfalls like cleaning coins, which destroys value, falling for counterfeit errors created by altering common coins, or selling valuable discoveries too quickly without proper authentication and competitive bidding. The legacy of the 1980 D Jefferson Nickel extends beyond its monetary value into the realm of cultural significance because it represents the democratization of wealth through knowledge. Unlike exclusive investment opportunities reserved for the ultra-rich, anyone with determination and education can potentially discover a fortune in rare coins, leveling the playing field and proving that attention to detail, persistence, and willingness to learn can yield rewards that surpass traditional career paths or inheritance. This $92 million coin stands as the grand finale of our journey through extraordinary Jefferson Nickels, a testament to the incredible values that exist within the world of numismatics, and a powerful reminder that the next time you receive change at a store, glance into an old collection, or sort through inherited possessions, you might be holding a treasure that could transform your life forever. So never stop looking, never stop learning, and never underestimate the potential hiding in those small, seemingly insignificant coins, because somewhere out there, another 1980 D Jefferson Nickel error is waiting to be discovered, and it could be you who finds it and joins the ranks of those fortunate few who turned pocket change into generational wealth.